How would you feel if you woke up at the age of 21 years old and found out that you were in $200,000 worth of debt? That's exactly what happened to me. Hi, my name is Chelsea, and I am currently in $90,000 worth of debt. Now, waking up and finding out that you're in $200,000 worth of debt literally sounds crazy.
Right.
Let me explain. Long story short, my mom forced me to go to a 4-year college and get my degree, which, yes, that's awesome. That's great. But I went to a private school in Boston, which I didn't know, but my mother just took out all the student loans in my name when she told me that she was going to pay for me to go to school. After I graduated, I moved to Texas all by myself, and that is when I found out I was in $200,000 worth of debt.
Ma'am. So is she saying that she didn't know her mom did that and she thought her mom was just sending her to school because she was trying to help her out and set her up? But really, it was under her name? How is that legal? Is that even a thing?
I've currently been paying off my student loans for 12 years, but I have to say going to college has been my number one regret. I feel like I've been put behind the 8 ball my entire life. I've literally not known what it's like to be in debt. I understand that my mom did this to try and provide a better life than what she had, but all it really did was hinder me. I'm 33 years old and I hate how I feel like I'm so far behind everyone because I'm paying a mortgage, a loan, and student debt. I want to use TikTok to help me pay down my $90,000 worth of debt because at this point, getting a second job is just not realistic. And I have a good job, but paying my student loans every month is just honestly killing me at this point.
And if she had the student loans and her mom signed it, didn't she commit fraud? And if that's the case, why is she paying for fraud? Was there a police report? I'm trying to understand. This seems like something you might need to get the authorities involved in because that doesn't make any sense. This lady is in her 30s talking about she's still trying to pay back student loans that her mom took out for her. And I just have to wonder, does this end up affecting the relationship with your parent? She is clearly not over this. She is still struggling with her finances to this day. Sounds like she has a mortgage and crippling student loan debt, in which this story doesn't seem like this is her fault. This is one of the rare situations I hear about student loans where I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't be wrong if you said you wouldn't pay it. And I'm trying to understand because I thought when it came to student loans, you had to physically be there to sign on the dotted line for the loans and make it make sense. Y'all, the way I got to run to these comments to see what the heck is going on. Okay, so the caption says, I still can't believe I've been paying this off for so long. I feel like I'm so far behind. I'm not gonna lie, I would have told my mom, you pay it. You do it. Didn't nobody tell you to go up there and sign me up for this? I'm not paying. Or else, do you want me to call the police? Do you want to go to courts? Now, somebody in the comments says, wow, the way I would have never talked to my mom again, that's crazy. And somebody underneath commented and said, my husband's mom did the exact same thing to him. And to this day, he owes her everything for the life she gave him. What? So was that essentially saying that because she signed him up for the loans, she is responsible for the success of his life because he went to college, because you signed him up for college against his will? And now he owes everything to you? Like, what? May this level of control never find me or my mom. Y'all, I had to be nosy and do a little bit more snooping. On her TikTok profile, there was a video that reads, I will never talk to my mom again. I just had to know, is it in reference to what we just heard? Because if it was my mom, she would have to feel me on this one. And I wouldn't want to hear no lip. Now, I might have forged your signature to go on a few field trips because I forgot to come in your room and let you know about the field trip because I had other things on my mind. And I knew if I told you last minute that we needed volunteers, you would have been mad. But this is taking it to new levels. Signing somebody up for this amount of debt.
I will never talk to my mom again. Yeah, I wish it was that simple. It's so easy to say, I'd cut her off. I'd never talk to her again. And trust me, part of me definitely wanted to. I don't think you understand how angry I was. I think I went through all 5 stages of grief. I definitely felt betrayed. I didn't even know that the loans existed until my sister called me, which is saying a lot. She called me saying that some people were calling to try and find me, but called her. And then she was like, do you have student loans? And I said, no, not that I know of. But at that point, all the student loans were in my name. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't know how much the exact total was. And believe me, I called my mom angry. And we barely spoke for like 2 years after. But during that time, my dad also passed away. And I don't want to be mad and angry all the time. I definitely don't excuse it. And I'm the one that's paying the price. Literally. Now, I do live halfway across the country, so I maybe see her once or twice a year. And it's just something that we don't talk about. I briefly brought it up last summer of how it was my biggest regret, but honestly, she didn't say much about it. It's wild to see how many people have commented that someone that they know or even themselves this has happened to. So I definitely know I'm not the only one. So did I cut her out of my life? No. But am I still pretty resentful? Absolutely.
I think it was very big of her to forgive her mom and try to move past it. And maybe she didn't have bad intentions, but I just feel like when it comes to student loan debt, when it involves your children, they need to be looped in about all of this, because when Uncle Sam wants their money back, they're not going to be calling the mom if you didn't put the loans in your name. They're going to be calling the daughter, who unbeknownst to her had student loans. This would have been an easy case for me. I would have been like, it's fraud. I'm sorry, mother. And I understand her being resentful because she still has to pay it back. Like, she has to relive this betrayal every time she makes a payment. I feel her when it came to like just trying to move on from the past and forgive her parents, because y'all, your parents ain't here forever. They ain't perfect. That doesn't excuse what she did or absolve her from accountability. But you only get one mom, you only get one dad. And I especially felt her because my dad passed away a few years ago. And honestly, you don't know when you're gonna go or when they gonna go. So you just try to enjoy the time you have together while you can. And sometimes that means letting go of the past. But in some cases, it is okay to forgive and move on, even if that means you might have to move on from them. And I'm not saying that's what she should have did, but I could understand either way.
I posted a video about how my mom took out $200,000 worth of loans in my name,
Right.
and it went a little viral, so let's talk about it. Starting off hot, is it illegal? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm assuming so. And just to clarify, I was 17 at the time when I started college, so I would have needed her approval anyways, I guess. This was also back in 2009, and literally everything was done online, or if my mom went somewhere, I was not involved.
Out of all the stories I've heard about student loan debt and the people hollering out, I shouldn't have to pay. I was young. I was used. It was predatory. I'm not going to lie. For the cases like this, I understand. I get it. You didn't even do it. Your mom did it. Tell her to pay it. Why do the 17-year-olds have to be held accountable for the financial implications that their parents made for them to go to a college? And I'm not sure if this is how it works, but I feel like it should be the parent signing and the child. And I say child because it's like, dang, she was only 17. She wasn't even 18 yet. But we know this type of stuff happens. And granted, I know a lot of parents are probably like, I'm trying to get my child ahead, and they were young and they were ready for college and they were ahead of their peers. But I just feel like, loop her in. If she that smart, you could have talked to her about these student loans, and you could have told her she was on her own.
When I was told that I had to go to college, I was specifically told not to worry about the price of it. I've always been a financial conscious person, so this is a decision I would not have made if I knew even how much tuition was. Like I said, I was 17, and if your mom says don't worry about it, I think you don't worry about it.
Oh man, this is just getting worse and worse by the second, because you do want to trust your parents. I so feel her on this. You're 17, you don't know better. The parents are supposed to be the ones that have your best interest at heart. They're supposed to be the ones seasoned in the game. They're supposed to know all this type of stuff. They're supposed to know what it means to have to pay back student loans, the obligations that come along with it, interest rates, all of that. And you get hit with a little, don't worry about it. What that supposed to do? And I can't really fault her for believing her mother when she said, don't worry about it, because most people have a relationship with their mothers to where they trust their mother more than like their mother and their father more than anybody on earth. So why would you think that they're going to put you in a bad financial situation if they said to trust you? A lot of parents be messing up the kids financially. They do. And it's not just with student loans. It could be with a car loan. It could be with talking to them about real estate. A lot of Americans lack financial literacy. It's not something we're taught in schools. It's not something that your parents are probably taught, and they definitely wasn't taught anything about financial literacy in school. And this is who we have passing the information down to us. And she's around my age, and this ends up being the result. Unfortunately, she had to pay for the decisions of her mother. And who knows, her mother very well may not have meant any malice. She may have not thought it was going to be a big deal, which is probably why she told her daughter that. I mean, because I would hate to think that your mom actually knew the gravity of the situation and then told you not to worry, because if that's the case, I'd be like, girl, run. Like, she got it out for you. She out to get you. But a lot of these parents, they don't be knowing nothing about financial literacy.
I was literally just trusting her because, I mean, what else am I supposed to do? Just to clarify, I really don't think my mom had any ill intent, because even when we had talked about it afterwards, she literally told me that everyone's in debt. I just genuinely think she believed that, like, that's what happens.
That was so cringe and appalling to hear. Do you know how many people that if you just talk to, they'll just be like, everybody's in debt. It's fine. It's fine. They think debt is normal. And they're like, oh, when it's just part of being an adult. Why is debt in America like a rite of passage? It's like everybody has it. Like, when are you going to join the club? Are you going to get you some debt? They're handing out debt over there. Are you going to get you a loan? Get you some student loans? Get you an auto loan? You ready to get a home loan with a really high interest rate? Because that's the best ones to get. Like, what is up with us? Like, we need help. We are not okay. And I just know the other countries looking at us like, y'all see these Americans over there swimming in debt? Y'all comment if you're watching from another country. Shout out to all of y'all. Debt in a lot of these countries ain't a thing. You don't get to do the things we do here with debt in other countries because they don't have debt. If you don't have money for school, you don't go to school. Ain't no debt. What? And they looking at videos like this like, oh, it's real scary over there. Y'all parents be doing y'all in like this, telling y'all debt is normal. Yes, telling y'all stuff that's going to make you struggle financially is just okay because everybody got it. Yes. And I don't like it though.
I'm being completely honest, I don't even know what the actual total was. I said 200,000 and it was very close. If it was not 200,000, it was like 170, 180 minimum. If you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them, but there is a good chance that I really don't know the answer.
I just want to know why she didn't dispute it. Did she actually go to school for something that was useful and that's why she didn't care? Because I'm trying to understand why it went down this way and why she was okay with actually just paying back the debt. Is it just because she didn't want her mom to go to jail? Or is it because she actually went into something that paid her back money? I want to know what she does for a living. Like, did you become a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer or something? And now you getting big bank. It's like secretly you don't like that your mom put you in school at 17, really young, signed you up for all these student loans, but now in your 30s, you making a lot of money? Because I don't know. In that case, then it might be like, all right. You didn't tell me about the loan, but I was probably going to go to school anyway. And I'm making a lot of money. I could probably work with that. I could work with that. Give you a little leeway for making me think something is what it wasn't.
My biggest regret in life is going to college. I know we're all supposed to say college was worth it, but for me, it wasn't. And honestly, it was just something that I needed to check off for my mom's approval. I ended up getting into even more debt through medical bills, and I'm exhausted. A lot of people don't talk about the regret, the resentment, the pressure of paying down a mortgage-sized loan on top of trying to just live. So if you ever felt like you're behind, you're not alone.
No, this is quite confusing because now she's saying it's her biggest regret, but she's also paying off the debt that she didn't know she had, that her mom signed her up for. And looking at the house, ma'am, very nice. This look a little custom. Big money? I'm just kidding. I have no clue. But I just got to ask you all, would you be upset with your parents if they signed you up for a large amount of student loans and you didn't know that you actually were the one that had to pay for the student loans? Would it end up changing your mind about things if you actually went to school for something useful? Or would you call the cops? Would you go to court? Would you sue? Or would you just want to pay it so they can avoid any sort of legal action taken against them? But we have to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.